host, and we're back on the road again today because I got stuff to do. So, but I thought we would go down. I kind of made a big detour because one of my good friends, Kathy McLean, she's been telling me about this donut place, but she's like, "This is the best donuts in the city," and I was like, "All right." But the problem is they're always closed. Like whenever I'm down in this part of the world, it's pretty far from where I live. It's close to where she lives, but pretty far from where I live. It's all the way down in a place called Arundel, which is south of an area called Glen Burnie. This is a very blue collar, working class area. Really great. This is the kind of neighborhood that I grew up in, and so but it's actually a part of the Baltimore area that I really have not been to. So like this road that we're on is something called Baltimore-Annapolis Boulevard. Maku and Kent, good morning to you guys. And I know it from another part of the area, but I've never been on this part of it. So every day you learn something new. So this place evidently has been around for a while, Arundel Donuts, and like I said, it's closed on Mondays. I think it's also closed on Tuesdays, so it's not open very often. So today's the first day. They open at 5:30. It's now 10 o'clock. And if they're super popular, I'm kind of concerned. Will they be out of donuts? I don't know. We're going to find out. Hopefully they'll have some coffee there. Otherwise, we're going to have to go hunt for some coffee. So how's everything going? Everything going well? The Facebook changed their thing, so I can now switch the cameras midstream. Like here we are rolling down. This is what's called Baltimore-Annapolis Boulevard, and yeah. So, like I said, it's it's a working class area, so you can see there's a check cashing place. If you're ever in the mood, don't go to check cashing. They take so much money from you. It's not a good thing. All right, so Arundel Donuts is going to be right here on the right. This is it. Here we go. This little tiny place. Oh, son of a gun. You've got to be kidding. This is what I was worried about. Sold out. Look at that. Son of a gun. Okay, this 10 o'clock, and they're open till, so it says here 5:30 to 11:30. This is disappointing. Good Lord. I'm going to have to ask Kathy just to go buy me some next time. This is terrible. Gosh, really? I spent all this time planning to come down here just in time for the live stream. Oh my gosh. Okay, so backup plan. I know there's a Latino bakery somewhere. Crap, it's kind of far away, isn't it? Oh, let's go here. Hopefully this is the right way. We're going to be crashing. Yeah, well, Marco, they open at 5:30, so it's 10:30, and this place is evidently really popular. So as I was arriving, I was thinking, man, 5:30. If they open at 5:30, that's a long time. Like it's 10 o'clock, so. What can you do? Anton, how are you, man? How are you? Oh, you were also disappointed today? What happened to you? Tell us what happened. Marco says, time for café con leche then. Hopefully. Most of the Latino panaderias that I've been to or that I know of, they don't really have, they don't normally have like a whole menu of coffee drinks. Typically it's just like a black coffee if they offer anything at all. I went to this one place that was actually on, like I said, this street that I was on, Baltimore-Annapolis Boulevard, that actually extends all the way up to Glen Burnie and beyond. And that's where the bakery is that I went to once. And I'm trying to remember where it is so we can hit it. And I just didn't know it went to this part of the area. So interesting. Busa, how are you, man? Good to see you. Well, I was headed, Busa, we were going to Arundel Donuts. We got there and they were sold out. So now we're heading back to Glen Burnie and in search of this panaderia that I went to once. I was going to go there one. So this show I was thinking about doing on Monday, but then, so the plan was to do this Monday because I had to come down here. I was supposed to come down here Monday morning to meet this guy to pick up some equipment from, but then things changed all day long, and that didn't happen till the evening, and it ended up being closer to where I live. So I was going to come down Monday, but then Arundel Donuts was closed, so I was thinking, okay, well, then what else is down here? Sadly, there's, outside of Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks here in the suburbs, there's really nothing. Like, there's nothing for coffee. Like, it's really, the more that I do these road rule shows, I'm looking for coffee joints outside, you know, out in the wild, man, it's barren, it's bereft of coffee, or, you know, other than Starbucks and Dunkin'. So it's like, so I was looking at this place, I saw a couple of the panaderias, and I was like, okay, well, if I was going to go there, oh, there's a Los Gallitos, authentic Mexican, we could probably get food. So we don't want. George says, why not try Laurel Tavern Donuts? Aren't they the tobacco leaf name? Well, the problem is that now I'm in Glen Burnie, George. So the problem is to get to Laurel would take a good amount of time. And I think Laurel, I think Laurel Donuts, that donut place, I think that's further down to Laurel. And I'm kind of far from Laurel. You know, so it's not necessarily a question of not being willing to do that, but just more like, you know, how much time we're going to take to drive to the place that I. Anton says, delivery guy skipped me. Oh, man, even though I was home all day, I have been waiting for these tapered baskets since 1701. Oh, right. Since January 17th. They had fun with them in customs, and then strikes happened. Oh, man, that sucks. That's terrible. Well, I guess I feel somewhat relieved, not at your pain, but just somewhat relieved to know that it's not just delivery guys in America that skip over you. They're just like, I don't feel like delivering today. I'm just not going to go to that guy. It's like, where you going, man? One thing that I would suggest that might help, and I don't know, if they're delivering to your home, it's a little bit more difficult if you're not home all day. But especially at the roastery and stuff, and at the new shop, I got to know all of our UPS and FedEx and mail delivery guys. You know, so you know them on first name basis. So once you get to know them, then you have no issues. Like Nils, he's our mail guy, and I can always tell when he's not working, because the mail guy does something weird. Like, he doesn't understand where, like at the roastery, he didn't understand where the location was, and it's like right there in front of you. And I'd ask Nils the next day, I'm like, another guy did yesterday? He's like, yeah. I was like, I get it. Anton says, looks like the last good delivery service here has fallen. Oh, that's a shame. You know, I always expect Germany to be very efficient. Like, you guys are always about efficiency, right? Like, Busa says, one of my favorite donut shops. Pretty much nothing in Anne Arundel County. Yeah, unfortunately. So, Busa, you've been to Arundel, right? So, like I said, my friend Kathy, she says this is the best donuts ever. And I guess it must be because they're totally sold out. Now I'm very disappointed. Like, it's a 45-minute to an hour drive from where I live to come here. I'm like, nah, this is terrible. All right, there. So are we back? No, this is not being. Oh, I'm going to Crane Highway. I think I'm supposed to turn right here. Busa says, or the trailer with the ladies in bikinis in Pasadena. What? Okay. Maybe we're not too far from that. Okay, that's terrible. That's not NSFW, is it? Well, you know what? If they don't have coffee, well, we're close enough. Maybe we can go there too. Why not? Okay, so there should be. Okay, if you look here, there should be a. Anton says, on the bright side, they did manage to leave my subscription coffee in the mail. That coffee is always a surprise. This time, it's a koi natural, so it was impregnated with koji natural, koji spores. Never heard. Oh, yeah. Koji is what they use for a lot of Japanese style fermentation. Okay, let's see. Where is this place? Now, I'm going this strictly off of the force and of memory, sheer force of memory now, because, oh, here it is, Cinco de Mayo. It's right up here. Oh, you can't really see that, but there it is. Pasteleria y taqueria. Oh, there's a taco. It's tacos too. All right. What more can you ask for in the morning? All we can see that is bueno. Es bueno. Perfect. Es perfecto. All right, Cinco de Mayo. Says they're open. Hopefully they're not sold out. Okay, so let's go here. These are, if you've never been to a Latino style bakery, this is kind of like what it's like. They have these, turn this around. They have these cakes, pastry cakes, right? And so, so typically you want to get, buenos dias. You have to get the tray, right? Get the tray. And we'll get some wrap and tongs. So it's kind of always self-serve, right? So self-serve. And so they have a whole variety of stuff. My favorite are conchas. Conchas are what I love the most. I don't know what those are called, but, oh, and the cakes. The cakes typically are nice. They're not too moist, they're not too dry. They're kind of in between. Oh, look at that. This is like layered pastry. So kind of like croissant style dough, like layered dough. Oh. If you see something that you think that I should try, let me know. So these are bolillos. So these you can use for, these are savory rolls. So you can use these for like sandwich making, tortas and stuff like that. So there's, cornetos. All right, so I'm gonna get the concha because conchas are es mi favorito. Put that there. And I've never seen this before. That looks crazy good. Especially this large fluffiness. And then anything. Yeah, hopefully. I went here before, and I do remember it being very pleasurable. Anything else? No, I think I don't want to get too much because I'll go crazy over it. But I will get a cake. One of these galletas. Bueno. Okay, then once you have this done, you then take it to the counter where they will give you your. What's that? Sí. ¿Tienes café? Un café, por favor. All right, $6.33. All right, so we got our stuff here. Oh, gracias. Oh, gracias. So I thought it was 6:33, but it was actually 8:01 with the coffee. So she gave me the change, my propina. My cambio. Oh, look, tres leches. Look at that. Holy smokes. Okay, so they do have some coffee, so I'm going to get some coffee. And we're going to try. Oh, look at that. Here's some jellies and some cakes. ¿Cómo? No, gracias. No, no, sin azúcar. Sí, un poquito de leche, por favor. Ooh, look at this. Tostitos with salsa verde. What is that about? Good Lord. Gracias.
Buen día.
Buen día. Okay, so there we go. We've got our haul. Ooh, and this is a big coffee. Look at this coffee. It's huge. Huge. Okay, so here it is. Cinco de Mayo. The 5th of May is what it means, which, strangely enough, is kind of like I forgot what exactly, it's something in Mexican history, which I cannot remember at the moment, but it is not the great celebration of Cinco de Mayo here in America. Like those of you who are not from the United States, here in the United States, Cinco de Mayo is a huge, well not huge, but it's a fairly well celebrated Mexican holiday. I don't even think it's a holiday in Mexico. I don't even know how much it's celebrated in Mexico. I don't know. But Maku, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Get an extra, don't fry. I know, my gosh. So I don't even know if it's how well celebrated it is. Yeah. In Mexico, at least. Here in America, everybody likes to go drink and party. But in Mexico, my friends were always like, Cinco de Mayo, no big deal. I said, what's Cinco de Mayo mean? What? I asked like, so what does Cinco de Mayo mean? It means the 5th of May. It's like, yeah, but they're like, yeah, it's it was part of the revolution, I think. But I don't think it was it's not widely like celebrated here, like here. The trailer with the rice. I'm still thinking about the trailer with the ladies in bikinis because I've never seen that. Like I've heard about them, like in places in the West Coast, in like Oregon and Washington State, but I've never actually been to a place like that. Oh yeah, so Anton's got the koji spores, excellent. But Germany's not so efficient. Oh, sorry, man. Sorry to hear that. Java Diva says, Busa, okay, sometimes I'll stop there, Arundel Donuts before work. Well, gosh, man, just rub it in, my friend. Just rub it in. I appreciate that. Most of the country is now running on people with no aspiration to put the slightest bit of effort in their work. And it's also the fault of greedy employers not paying it. Oh, gosh, it's always that, isn't it? All right, let's have a look at their coffee. She was kind of surprised that I said no sugar. I was like, she's like, she asked if I wanted azúcar. No, gracias. And then she was like, leche? And I was like, oh, yes, let's do that. Because if we're going to have café con leche. So I told her, but I just told her put a little bit. Un poquito, por favor. So she put a little bit. So here's our coffee. Looks. Oh. It has the defecty smell. I'm not going to. Here's the thing. I would not come to a place like this and expect them to have like amazing coffee. I would expect them to have, this level of coffee, which has that tainted, defecty aroma. But let's see how it tastes. Probably could have used sugar, but it's not terrible. It's not horrible. Like it's not Folgers bad. It's passable. You know, it's better with conchas. It will be better with conchas. So we're gonna have the conchas. We got a bit of a stash here. Anton says, since COVID and even before that, you can watch the decline in real time. Oh, that's too bad, man. You know, actually, I gotta say, I just realized I was looking at some photos. I don't think I've actually been touring around Germany. It's sad. My photos tell me the last time I really rented a car and went around the country was in 2019, the end of 2019. I can't believe it's been that long. It's only been 5 years. It's like, man, I need to go back. But Booster says, my Glen Burnie, my home away from home, and a lot of street racing there. There's always a lot of street racing down here. Marco says, in my experience, this is more specifically, yes, I totally agree with you on that, which is nice. Well, I have a bias towards Mexican stuff. I had a very serious relationship once upon a time, and I learned so much about Mexican cuisine and coffee and everything about Mexico. And I was like, oh. So I'm very particular when I come to like the baked goods and like the foods. So I like to go to very Mexican joints. Not because I don't like other Latin foods. I love other Latin foods. It's just that I want it to be like more authentic. Like I thought the strange thing when I first started going to Mexico was we'd go out to eat with her family, and it would be like we'd go to the restaurant, and the first thing they would have would be these pan dulces, these sweet breads. This concha. Where's my concha? The concha, of course, is the very bottom. Very distressing. It's a very distressful day. I gotta dig it out of the bottom of the bag. So while this is a big plastic bag, it's actually, everything is in a paper bag, which is a little bit tight for all of these very large, oh, there it is. So concha. So for me, there's a place back then, my girlfriend took me to a place called Bondi in Mexico City. And Bondi, to me, the Bondi concha is the true gold standard. Soft, pillowy, moist. I mean, it was perfection in pastry. There's a new place called Maque in La Condesa in Mexico City that is similar, but not as good. Unfortunately, Bondi closed quite a few years ago. Now, this girl I know, one of the bloggers, more famous Mexican food bloggers, Leslie Tellez, her and I used to talk a lot. Mainly because she was going to Mexico City, I was going to Mexico City a lot, and so we would discuss like different food places, and she's of the same opinion that Bondi is the gold standard. I've yet to find a place that is as good. I found very good. So what I'm looking for is very moist, soft, but also a little bit of a chew. Most of the panaderias are very dry. I think I remember this place being pretty good, but let's see. Busa says that Java Divas 8355 Ritchie Highway. Where are we on Ritchie? Is that the place you're talking about? The one with the bikinis? Maybe we'll stop by there, see if it's really good. Anton says, you can let me in the shop, I would get like 5 items. I know. It's like I have to like hold back. But I've been to a lot of Mexican bakeries, so like I have learned how to temper my psychoness, my craziness, right? Busa says, Rise Up Coffee opened in Pasadena, not that. Oh yeah, that's right. How did you find that place? Anton said they do actually sometimes some panaderias will have big donuts. And there's a place actually in Essex on the other side of the city that I go to. They have very good. They have conchas. So there's a couple places I like in conchas here in Baltimore. There is a place in Essex. There's a place in Pikesville. And I usually go. I like their stuff, and I'm hoping this will be really good. So, the Big Bean in Severna Park is also another place. Ooh, Cappy's with us. Panaderias here in Mexico usually don't sell coffee. Kind of sad because we have one of the best coffees, and pan dulce with coffee is a coffee. I'm with you on that. I'm totally with you. So, Cappy, Do you have a favorite place in Mexico for your concha? Specifically concha now. Okay, this is good, but it's a little bit dry. For me, it's a little bit dry. I would like it to be a little bit more, slightly more moist, a little bit more spongy. Flavor's fine. There's none of it, unlike American pastries. These are very lightly sweet. It's a very tempered sweetness, so not crazy sweet. That's pretty good. I could eat this whole thing. Sometimes you get them and they're kind of dry. You don't want to eat the whole thing. So, Boo says, huge party day. Remember the 5th of May. Oh yeah, I'm way behind on time. Cappy says, yeah, Cinco de Mayo is just a day off in Mexico. It's not a big celebration. Yeah, see, he's happy with you. Yeah, that. But in Mexico now with the Independence Day on what, September 16th? Is that right? Or is it September 15th? Does the new president still give the big grito during the speech? Peter's with us. What's going on, Peter? And then General George says Cinco de Mayo commemorates a victory by General Zaragoza over the French near Puebla, I believe. Oh, okay. And Booster says, from what I was told, most of the Latin pastries in the area are made by a central bakery and sold to local bakers. Really? That would be disappointing. The place, though, in I'm pretty sure that the two places that I like the most, the one in Essex and the one in Pikesville, I'm almost positive because I can see the machinery in the back. I'm pretty sure they bake their own. I mean, this place is fairly sizable. Yeah, and I mean, look at you can't really see it, but the girl is right now in the window is carrying a cake from the back. So, I don't know, maybe, I don't, I would presume, my presumption is that this place makes their own. I could be wrong. Like my local bakery, the one in Pikesville I learned about because my local Latin market, a place called Tiendas Mari, they have a whole case. Like if you go to a lot of Latin markets, they have a big case of these kind of pastries, right? And they're usually baked by someone else. And actually, Tienda Mari does it because they get like from a couple different bakeries. So depending when you go and what they have, could be from two different bakeries. And so I found out one baker's conchas I don't like. The other baker's conchas I do like. And I asked the guy, I was like, so which one is this? He's like, oh, this is the place in Pikesville. And I was like, so that's why I like it. Okay, so this is good. I should not eat the whole thing, although I would like to. It'd be very nice. Let's let me catch up a little bit. I gotta catch up a little bit. George says, looks milky. It's a little bit milky. Panettone. You know what? That is a great comment for comparison. It is somewhat similar to a panettone as far as like the crumb here, without the filling, of course. Very similar. I would say that's very similar. It's a very astute. See, now that I picked it up, I had to take another bite. But together, the coffee with the coffee is very mild. So I would say a lower brew ratio. It doesn't necessarily complement, but it doesn't detract. All right, another bite. We're gonna try this thing, this monstrosity. I don't know what this is. This looks to me like chocolate covered coconut, shredded coconut maybe, or maybe just shredded chocolate. It's pretty like, oh yeah, I think that's shredded coconut, but it's gonna be messy now. I don't think there's anything inside it, but the flakiness very nice. That's pretty good. A little bit dry. I mean, sometimes, like this is, like my Americanness wants me to have filling, right? Like, give me some pastry cream in there, just shove it in there and like, give me like eclair style, right? But I think it's very nice. Okay, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. Too many. Let us see about the galleta. Musa says, I work back and forth between Glenburnie and Annapolis. Ah, okay. You're in Annapolis today, I imagine. Cinco probably does their own food. Is very good there. Ah, okay. Oh, I gotta try the food. Okay, so now for the cake. I tend to like these cakes. I tried it one time because I was just kind of like, I'm gonna give it a try, and then I was like, oh, I like these cakes. So big cake, confetti icing, sprinkles, very fun. It's a happy day. Like when it comes to these pastries, compared to American style pastries, much more reserved. Let's break that off because it's just too difficult to eat, to take a whole bite. Like, look at that. Oh. All right. Cappy says there's a place called El Globo with decent contrast, but kind of agree that Bondi was amazing. Yeah. But the nice thing about Mexico is that you can find good bread from small local panaderias too. So I'm curious, since you know Bondi, Cappy, I presume that you're also from Mexico City. If I go to Mexico City, or the next time I go to Mexico, typically when I go to Mexico City, I stay in La Condesa. I think it's kind of fun, right? And those of you who may be familiar with Mexico City, La Condesa is this neighborhood that is kind of nice. It's a nice area. And I can't say that it's not nice. It's a nice area. It's an Art Deco area. It was built around this racetrack. There used to be a racetrack there, like in the 20s. They tore it all down and they made a whole nice. It's mostly like 1920s era Art Deco style buildings or 1930s era Art Deco buildings. Lovely, lovely neighborhood. Lots of B&Bs, lots of small boutique hotels. Really a great place. A very walkable kind of like neighborhood. Like pretty much I go there and I don't really need to leave. You could stay in like fancier places like Polanco, or even go further out to Santa Fe, but those are like, they're fancy. Like Polanco's fancy and kind of, it's still walkable. Santa Fe is kind of like fancy, but like the suburbs, so you don't really walk around there. And then, yeah. So I'm curious to know, Cappy, is there a place down there, closer, not too far from La Condesa, that you think is great for contrast, so that next time that I go, I'll be like, all right, I'm ready. Lucy says, no, I'm home today, got rear-ended. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Neck is a little sore. Oh, I hope it goes well. Peter says, beignet, cupcake, what do you mean? What was the question referring to? Did I mention something that I totally have forgotten about? Power Plant says, Tres Leches cake is the ultimate indulgence from Mexico. Oh, that is true. My brother is he's the big Tres Leches fan. By no means do I not enjoy Tres Leches cake. I very much enjoy that, but I don't get it a lot because I need to temper. I need to temper that, right? Yeah, I hope you feel better, man. I hope you feel better, Babuza. Okay, so what was that? What was that comment here? There was the address 8355 Ritchie Highway, Java Divas. Okay, let's go check that out. We're gonna check that out. Since we're here, we might as well. I think it's not too far away. 8355. So we're Crane Highway. Crane Highway here in Glen Burnie runs parallel, at least this part of it, to Ritchie Highway. So it's Ritchie Highway's over there. We're gonna go around. See if we don't get crushed by the cars. Gracias, Cinco de Mayo. And we're gonna cut through, so we can cut through the Burger King parking lot to Ritchie Highway. I think this should be Ritchie Highway, right? It's probably illegal. Oh, cars. So you said Pasadena, right? Pasadena, so it's a little bit south of here. So that's nice. That's a nice little spread. If you haven't been to these bakeries, these panaderias, and you see them and you're like curious, hopefully that by us doing the live stream through there, it gives you the idea of like what the protocol is. Like you just go in, there's always going to be trays somewhere. In this case, the trays were a little bit tricky for me. Like I was looking around and the trays are actually in the bakery case. Normally they're like in the front of the store, usually on like a little stand or table, and they have like, there's always going to be the tray and then some kind of tray. I've seen them use pizza pans or whatever, but there's always a tray. There's always going to be some tongs, and there's usually going to be some bakery sheets for you to use. And sometimes they don't have them, and I don't really care. And you just grab them. So kind of like if you've ever been to, like, remember that time we went to the Korean place? What was the Korean coffee joint bakery? Tous les jours. Kind of that similar style. So you get your tray, you get your tongs, and then you just go to the case and you pick out what you want. And it's not terribly expensive. Like we got 3 cakes, 3 people. We got a pan dulce, we got a concha, we had a cake, we have, and that layered thing. $6.30. So like $2 a piece. So not terribly expensive for what it is, but I think quite nice. Quite nice. The power plant says, would you get Meta glasses? I've heard of them. I don't really know anything about them. I like the idea, like when they had the Google Glass, I like the idea of trying them out. They would not send me one, so I never did get one, so I was a bit disappointed. Busa, where is this place? 8355 Ritchie Highway, but what's the marker? Like, what should I be looking for? Because I'm looking at these houses in Herondale, and they're like 507. It's like, well, 507, we're going to go 8355. It's a long way. Yeah, so the Meta Glass, I don't know much about the Meta glasses. Oh, by the way, this Herondale Plaza here was a mall when I was younger. This was like the very first enclosed mall in America, for whatever reason. I just read this the other day. I think this is the very first one that they enclosed. Like in the 1950s, it was the first place, at least in Baltimore, first place they enclosed. Really, I was surprised to find that fact. Surprised. Keep going past Marley Station Mall. It's about 2.5 miles down on the left. All right, so we've got a few minutes to do that. Excellent. But what is I'm presuming the Meta glasses will superimpose like data on your views, on your field of view, and take video and pictures from the viewpoint. Is that correct? Anton says, why get Meta glasses when you get an EK4? Yeah, exactly. And Todd asked the most pertinent questions. I'm trying to be gracious, but he's just like, why would you do that? That's just silly. Get the EK43. Is that how much it costs? Like $3,500? Marco says the EK might be a little bit too heavy to wear on the face. Yeah, it could be. It could be too heavy. And Booster says also that Mission Barbecue was the very first one to open in the USA. Oh, wow, really? I knew that they were from here. I just didn't know where the first one was. Oh, at Marley Station Mall. This is a fun place, guys. If you ever come here, there's a place called Ann's Dairy Cream. They do, like, you know, soft serve ice cream and hot dogs. Very nice. Also in this mall, which is called Arundel Mills Mall. It's kind of a dying mall. They have a movie theater, but if you go to the movie theater, you go across the movie theater, they have this Filipino restaurant. We were just hanging out here one day about 2 years ago, and we went into this Filipino restaurant, and we're like, oh, let's get some halo halo. And okay, this is going to sound a little bit bad, but there's this older white lady working there, and she's making the halo halo, and we're like, the white lady's making the halo halo? What's going on here? If you're not familiar, halo halo is like one of the most ubiquitous Filipino desserts. So it's basically different types of preserved fruits that is topped with finely shaved ice, and then some evaporated milk, and then you mix it. It's called halo halo. Halo means to mix, so mix. And oh, Booster's been there. Okay, excellent. And so you mix it, and that's it. And my favorite place is a place called Milky Way in Manila, and I think they make the best one that I have to my taste. So we're at the Marley Station Mall. This old white lady making us the halo halo, and because you're a little bit like the white lady's making us halo halo. That's a little bit strange, but I got to tell you, this halo halo was the best halo halo I've ever had in my life. I was like, oh my gosh, this is better than the Milky Way. And I couldn't believe it. Like, I would never have thought ever in my lifetime that I would say that there was a halo halo place in the United States that was better than Milky Way in Manila. And most specifically, I go to the Milky Way in Makati in Manila. And like that to me is like the pinnacle. And I went up to the lady after, and I told my friends, I was like, dude, this is the best I've ever had. This is truly the best. And I went up to the lady, I said, ma'am, this is the very best halo halo I've ever had in my life. Like, what do you do? Or something about that. She was like, I make it with love. I was like, I make it with love, hon. And I was like, oh my God, I totally am in love with you. You're such an amazing woman. I was like, this is perfect. It's like, you make it with love. That's all you need. Just all you need is love, right? Didn't Paul McCartney say that so many years ago? Cappy says, what's the coffee experience you try to look for when you come to Mexico? Most coffee shops in La Condesa are more like the modern international. What do I look for? So I'll tell you, some of my really good friends are, have owned some of the popular places. So I'm very good friends with like Arturo Hernandez, who runs the whole Etrusca Empire. Oh gosh. Now that I'm telling you all this, I can't remember. Like, the names just escape me. Like, I was just chatting with her the other day. But another one of my friends owns Gradios Deli Cafe. And so I've met a lot of the great, I've known a lot of the people that started a lot of the older school, I guess now, coffee places. But what do I look for? I'm open to look for anything in coffee. When I go to places, though, that are a little bit older, did I pass this place, Busa? Because I totally have been not paying attention to it. I'm at Battery Warehouse. Where are we? Century 21. What is the address here? Oh, I passed it, didn't I? Java Diva is the parking lot of a gas station. Okay, let's see. I'll come back to that in a moment, Cappy. I just got to figure out where we are, because we should be very close. My spidey senses are telling me that we're close. Oh, no, Arundel Highway, Arundel Express. Oh, so this is Route 10. So Pasadena is just up here. Okay, so we're still not there yet. Okay, almost there. So when it comes to places that have like a distinct pre-existing cafe culture, and I mean pre-existing like those that a cafe culture that pre-exists like what I have been part of, this whole third wave specialty coffee movement. I like to seek those places out. Like I remember one time we were down in what's it called, in Coyoacan. We're in Coyoacan, and we went to that really famous like place that's on the square that has the roaster that serves the old school coffee that all the specialty coffee people hate. They're all like, oh no, this is terrible coffee. But you know what? It's kind of fun. It's like, I like to see what was, you know, not necessarily for the quality of the coffee, but more for the style of the coffee making, what they do, how they do it. Because I'm always curious as a barista, as a coffee operator, what can we bring? What can we learn from these old school guys that we can bring to our world to help improve our experience, right? Because I think that the real simple way to look at it is that we do coffee better, and so therefore everything we do is better, and therefore those are all rubbish. But that's not really how I like to see it. Like, I think that there's so much that's on offer for us as operators that we can find things and hopefully do them in a thoughtful way as well, right? Like one of the things that I'm always fascinated with is the Japanese coffee culture, specifically the old school kisaten culture. So whenever I'm in Japan, I spend the majority of my time visiting old school kisatens versus the new school specialty coffee joints. Because you know what, honestly, the specialty coffee joints, very few of them, to my mind, can I pass it, are doing anything new. They're kind of following the trend, right? Whatever the trend is, that's what they're doing. And I want to see people, I'm always trying to find people that are, you know, either fighting against the trend or ahead of the trend, right? Even my friends in the business tend to be the most progressive people in the business, right? So that's kind of what I old school joints and like try old school coffee. Because I already know beautiful coffee. I already know what it takes to get beautiful coffee, how to get beautiful coffee, all that. What I don't know is how people have been enjoying coffee in their own way for many, many generations. And that to me is what I find to be quite interesting. The power plant says that always a certain type of sadness when an obsessed person makes great ethnic food. I wouldn't say she's obsessed. Like don't get me wrong. Like, she wasn't one of those like hipster types that's trying to make something better, something good better. Not like that. Like, I've had plenty of those experiences. But this woman, she just worked there, and she was very nice. She's very humble. Like, you know, people from this part of Baltimore. Like, she's one of those like salt of the earth, like working class, like just really wonderful people. Like, super nice, and just like, I just made it with love, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, it was truly a wonderful experience, and honestly, the very best. It was the very best Halo Hall I've ever had, and I, you know, 2 years later, I haven't been there in 2 years, but like 2 years later, it's still the best one I've ever had. Oh, there's a donut shack here. What is that place? What is this donut shack, Busa? I see something called Donut Shack. Right? Donut Shack. What is that? Is that worth a visit? Oh, there's Pitaya, Mexican restaurant. There's a lot of Mexican restaurants down here. What's going on in this area? You know, when I was young, in high school, let's fast forward a little bit from high school. Maybe a year or two into college, and I was away, and I came back to visit one summer. And I remember I was sitting at the traffic light downtown in front of the Inner Harbor, in front of Harbor Place. And I remember seeing a Latino family crossing the street in front of me. And I remember thinking to myself, oh my gosh, who are those people? Where did they come from? I have grown up in a Baltimore that never had Latinos, like not really many Latinos. So to start seeing Latinos in like the late 80s, early 90s was like, wow, that's wild. That's amazing. I was totally stoked about it, but I was like, wow, it's just so surprising. I'm sorry, the second light passed the battery. Does that mean I've already passed it? Is that right? I'm only relying on this force field of like craziness because I can't use the GPS on my phone because then it would interfere with me beyond. Okay, I'm gonna pull over here. This is Subverta. Oh yeah, we're definitely past. We're in Subverta Park now, so we're definitely past. Okay, I'm gonna turn around and head backwards from our direction. But the question is now, way past it. So is the donut place worth stopping by? Peter says I'm lost. You're right. I'm not necessarily lost. I'm just driving. I'm just meandering aimlessly. Oh, there's the Rise Up. Okay, that's cool. Think you may drive past it. Is right past the battery right after the battery warehouse. Okay. Peter says I saw coffee robots making in Asia. All gimmicks. There was actually a robot when I was at San Francisco Airport, like in the United Terminal. When you're going from the E gates to the C gates or D, whatever the gates, there's actually a big robot there. I did not try the coffee. I should have tried to try the coffee. Power Plant says, I used to live in a city called Haikou in the southern island of Hainan, China. Oh, nice. They had a very old coffee culture of boiling grounds in a sock in a large pot. Oh, there goes the donut place. Sorry, we're gonna pass that donut place. Oh yeah, see, in my opinion, donuts are terrible. Forget it then, forget it. Over a sock in a large pot and serving over rock sugar. Oh, that sounds lovely. Cappy says, yeah, because specialty coffee is not a thing here. Perhaps people just drink coffee and everything is okay. Chiapas has one of the best coffees in the world. I have to be a little bit careful because now I'm like trying to drive. But even the people there don't care about, it's interesting you say that because like, I mean, I think that, let's go back to the idea that people don't care. I think people don't care only because they don't have exposure, right? They don't have exposure to better quality coffee. So they don't know. They don't know what else is available to them. They don't know how to get it because you know what? One of the things about the commercial coffee is super easy to get. Like you can go and buy, here in the United States, you can buy Folgers, no problem. You can buy a lot of these coffees, no problem, because they're at the grocery store. But to get quality coffee takes effort. It takes, it's hard. It's more difficult. So I understand. I get that, and I get why you don't have a. And here in America, most people are drinking regular old coffee too. So it's only the cognoscenti that actually drinks nice coffee. Okay, so let's see here. It's at a gas station, Java Divas, and we're getting back to Pasadena now. Now we're in Pasadena. We're Early Heights. I will catch up on the comments in a moment. Okay, so Busa said that it's just past the battery warehouse, so it should be north of Route 10, the intersection of Route 10. That's what we're going to go to now. That's what's coming up next. Good thing we figured that out because I would have been in Annapolis. And then running out of gas. Oh yeah, the donuts are terrible there. Peter says I can make halo halo easy. I love halo halo. It's very delicious, very delicious. Anton says Everyone. Wait, here's the problem with the Halo Halo though. The Halo for me, I don't know if you guys know about this, but I used to run a shave ice business, right? Oh, I think I see it. Except we got a pink building. Look at that pink building. All right, that's where we're going. Okay, there it is, Java Divas. We're gonna go in here, and I have oriented myself in the wrong direction. So we will turn around. Oh. Really, Busa? There are bikinis here? This cannot be a good thing for my gentle viewers. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, we're in a gas station. He's right. We're in a gas station. The Citco gas station. So here is the menu. We have blended coffees, espresso shots, hot gourmet espresso drinks, freshly roasted ground coffees. All right, time to go up. I probably shouldn't be showing the woman, so we're not going to probably show the woman, but let's see what they say. Cash only. Hey there, how's it going? How are you?
Good.
What's your favorite coffee drink?
I like the creme brulee, or I like the caramel macchiato.
If you were to have one right now, what would you have?
Creme brulee.
I'll have that, please. That's easy enough. Creme brulee.
Frozen though, is that okay?
However you have it, we'll be fine.
How's your day?
Very good, thank you. Not so much bikini.
Do you like whole milk, babe?
Yes, that'd be great. Whole milk would be perfect. Where'd my cash go? Oh, just driving around getting some donuts.
Where'd you go?
I went to, well, I was trying to go to Arundel, but then,
They are usually sold out.
yeah, they were sold out.
Yeah. You know that one that's really like that's down the street from here?
No, which one?
Oh, what the heck is it called? Hold on. Ship Me Donuts. It's a drive-thru.
Where is it?
So if you go straight down, right here,
Okay.
and you pass the Walmart light, right?
Yes.
And then so at the Walmart light, you take a right. I think that's Jumpers Road or something.
Okay.
Chick-fil-A on this side and the Walmart's on this side. It's literally 1 minute drive.
Oh,
It's
all right.
Right,
It's
two
good?
minutes. Yeah, they're a lot better than Jumpers.
Okay, good.
You have
I bet.
an Apple phone?
I do.
Yeah, just look up Shipley Donuts.
Shipley's. Are they better than Arundel?
They're kind of the same.
Oh, all right,
Yeah,
good.
They just don't ever like sell out like that. And they're open 24 hours.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah.
24 hours. Let's see. Yeah, I'm a cop. That's exactly it.
They're open 24 hours now, so. And I like the fact that they're drive-through, so you don't have to get out.
Oh, that is very nice. We'll go check them out. What time does Arundel usually sell out? Do you know?
I heard they sell out. I think what time do they open?
Like 5:30.
Yeah, they're probably sold out by like maybe 7.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I've heard of that place. Everyone's like, you have to hurry because they sell out. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, that was surprising.
All right, $7, babe. And some change.
Thanks. Oh, thank you.
See you
Oh, here,
next
just
time.
okay.
Hope you
Thank you very
take
much.
it.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right, well, I guess we'll go to Shipley's now. Ridiculous. This is ridiculous. So, I mean, they have lips. Look at that, I got a kiss. How is it? So my whole thing with going to places like that, like I asked her, what would you have? What's your favorite? What would you have? She said the creme brulee or the caramel macchiato. Which would you have at the moment? The creme brulee. But it's frozen. So I have to say, this is about as bad as it gets. Like, this is, as a coffee shop operator, when I read forums that are populated by coffee shop operators, and they're forums for coffee shop operators, right? So, let me rephrase that. So sometimes I think to myself that I wish that sometimes I think if I had gone a different direction with Spro and how we do things, I wonder if I would have made a lot more money. Like, would I have like 50 locations now? But I have a problem where because I want to do things a certain way. And then you have people that are always like, the coffee is not that important, right? Sometimes people think like when it comes to certain drinks, lattes, mochas, things that have a lot of stuff in them, they always think that the coffee is not so important. You can go with cheaper coffee because it's not so important. But this is where I tell them, it's like, the coffee, even though you're talking about, so this, I was watching her make it. She put it in a big blender, like look kind of like one of those Blendtec blenders, but she put some syrup, she put some powdered mix for the thickener. Oh, Jumper's Whole Road, darn it. Sorry. I don't see a Sam's Club or Walmart here, but whatever. Oh yeah, there's the Walmart. Never mind. So there's a lot of stuff in there that people will think will cover up any kind of problems. However, it does not, right? Everything builds upon each other. And this is a great example of that, in that the coffee is like, man, you could taste the coffee. I could taste the coffee underneath everything else, and it's bitter and burnt and just, God, terrible. It's terrible. And then they're adding that commercial powder, which also is just a terrible product. So it's like terrible upon terrible upon terrible. And this product, this powder, whips it. And I think we've just come around full circle. Is this right? What? We have. Holy smokes. Oh, there it is. Shipley's Donuts. Okay, so here, look at this. This is craziness. We have come back around here. Full circle. There is Arundel Donuts. And Shipley's is right here. Look at that. There's Shipley Donuts. And Kolaches. I don't know what Kolaches is, but I think we're going to find out now. Just make a U-turn, turn around. Shipley's, I was expecting it to be some kind of local joint, like looking like a Rundle Donuts looks very local, like very like down home. Shipley's looks very like commercial, very chain like. But let's try it. We're here, so. All right, let's go to the Shipley's. Shipley's Donuts, Dough-Nuts, and Kolaches. Kolaches. Oh, there's a breakfast kolache. Okay, we can try that too. Oh, I cannot rely upon. What was that I just saw? Yays. Our new snackable beignets. They have beignets too. Hey there, man. Can I get a one glazed and one chocolate donut? No, that's good. Thank you. Thank you. Well, you know what? We should get their coffee. I think we'll get a coffee too because we want to see what it's all about. Hey man, hey, I changed my mind. Could I get a coffee too? What's that? Just small, black. $5.59. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Booster says Arundel Donuts are there. I know. We started here. If you watch this stream, we actually started here, and we've gone to this big circle, wasting gas. This is America. It's America. It's so terrible. Thanks, man. Hey, I got a question for you. How do these donuts compare to Arundel donuts?
When fresh, personally, they better.
Oh, all right. When fresh, they're perfect. I hope these are fresh. All right, let's see here. Let me catch up here. I've been slow on the comments today. Sorry. Thank you very much. All right, here's our coffee. Let's go over here to the now defunct Rite Aid, where I can actually give some concentration instead of like. Okay, let's see. Here's their coffee. Shipley's Donuts. Gotcha. We've gone to 4 different places today. What a crazy. We should only do this once. Okay, so here's the coffee. It does have that nasty kind of aroma. Oh my God. Yeah, there's heavy defect in that. Anton says, everyone is afraid those robots will take their jobs. Oh, everyone's afraid those robots will take their jobs. But the truth is, they cannot deal with the chaos of reality. They will always be humans needed, and the robots are kind of slow. That's true. Power Plant says the Hainanese coffee has spread across Southeast Asia throughout Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia. This was due to the diaspora of ethnic groups during the Cultural Revolution. I have to say, I went to a couple of the Hainanese coffee places in KL or outside of, more in Klang, outside of KL. I enjoyed them. Anton says, what is your robot gonna do if some stupid customer blocks their workplace or is this my drink? Yeah, it's your drink. Peter says, I think the diaspora was a lot earlier before the Cultural Revolution. Booster says, now when you pass the Harris Teeter, okay, got it. I think we made it. That was back in the 50s, says Peter. The first cleansing, the Tochu and the Hokkiens fled. The weather looks miserable. Yeah, the weather, actually, it's not too bad. I mean, it's just overcast, right? It's overcast. It's not beautiful, but it's not as bad as it was when I left the house at 8:30. Booster says, must be too cold. She was wearing a nightie, like a nightie shorts and nightie top. Asian Dev said, they're jealous of these donut options. I mean, well, we only had like 2 donuts. We haven't had that much. Power Plant says, Shipley looks basic. All right, let's try their basic. Let's try the glaze. He said the glaze was good hot, but it's not hot. It's cold now. So there's the glazed. I'm glad he prefaced that. It was better when it's hot. It could be great when it's hot, but now that it's cold, it's not so great. It's just okay. It's okay. Like if that was my local shop, I wouldn't be disappointed. So here's the other one, chocolate glaze. Historically, this is my favorite donut. All right, that's okay. That's okay too. So much for these gentle viewers. Cappy says, of course she wants that drink. No doubt. Booster says, the Corona that adds Rundle Donuts is my absolute favorite. Basically, croissant donut. Oh, that sounds delicious. I've had the ones from Ansel, Dominique Ansel in New York. Those are very good. And I've also had a couple from a place called Wildflower in Manila. They made really good ones as well. Asian Dev says, no offense to teens, but I don't think asking teens their drink of choice is... She's actually wasn't a teen. She was actually well into her 20s. Well into her 20s. Maybe young 30s. Let's go back to it. It's like it's so chunky the ice gets stuck in the straw. And it's messy. The cup leaks. The cup is cracked. This is cheap ass cups. Look, it's cracked right there. Oh, goodness. And it's super thick, super air, not thick, but airy. So it's like, I think a lot of the espresso had settled at the bottom because it's not as bitter now as it was when I first started drinking it. But like I was saying before, it's definitely as bad as you might expect from one of those type of drinks. Just no real thought put into how they make it or what they're making. The ingredients, like I often wonder, like the operators that sell these kind of drinks, I wonder, like, do they taste their own drinks? Do they taste it and they like it? Do they really truly like it, or do they convince themselves they like it? because I couldn't convince, like I could not convince myself to serve this if I was serving it, to make a drink like this. I couldn't do it. I would feel wrong. It's just like the whole thing with this new shop that we've been working on, the Ideal. I had convinced myself that we could do a $6 coffee and a donut or coffee and a pastry. And I'd figured out the quality of pastry that we would have to do, that we could do at that price point. Actually, now with the increase, the dramatic increase in coffee prices, I don't know if we can do it anymore. But when I went to a place that actually served the same kind of like menu item that I was thinking about, with nice quality coffee, but like very affordable priced muffin, I was like, oh, I can't do that. I can't. It was incongruent with what I want to offer. And I was like, I just couldn't. So, I don't like to bash on operators or anything like that. I don't mean to bash on them, but it's definitely not good. And look at the way that it's settling. Like there's so much whip. This is all from the mix, right? Like your blender will not do this to your milk normally. So there's a lot of air. So you've got this 24 ounce or 20 ounce cup, whatever this is, and it's mostly air. It's mostly fluff. So that's disappointing. Peter says that's such a girl's drink. No, I don't mind drinks like that. I would. The barista at Starbucks and that Target recommended, I enjoyed that. That I didn't enjoy. Peter says, give me some liquid steak, extra spicy. Excellent. Anton says, mention a menu where you get a filter coffee and can pick the grinder burrs that it's ground. See, this is why you should and should not make your own cafe there, Anton. Coffee people are crazy. They have these crazy ideas. I love them, but they're just crazy ideas. Asian Dev says, I mean, not just coffee drinks. In college, I enjoyed Jägermeister. Bad decision. It's always bad decisions. But you don't have any good stories unless you have made bad decisions, right? Otherwise, like I think my friends who never really made bad decisions, they don't really have anything fun to talk about. They're like, you're not so fun to talk to, dude. Let's just like hang out and not to talk too much. Marcus says, people can wait while you pontificate. Oh, very nice, very nice. And then you ever see these Instagram reels or TikTok where it's like the person prepping Dunkin' drinks where it has like half the cup of sugar. I have not seen those actual ones, but I think I do find them to be fast. That kind of videos where people are showing behind the scenes of what they're doing. I do find them to be rather fascinating because I'm always interested in process, right? Booster says, I never knew Shipley's was there. They say like something new, and only because we went to the place that you recommended, because our barista was like, hey, there's a place called Shipley's. All right, let's go try it out. Power Plant says, they are from Texas, prepared to be well met. Oh, nice. Oh, it must be the Rite Aid. Peter says, we need to bring back the good old 50s American vibe. And that's what we're trying to do in America. Go back to segregation. Go back to putting everybody in their place. Can't have all this mixing of the people. It's not very good in America. Anton says, small black, we're counting them deep. Booster says, okay, that was where the old Checkers now. Oh, okay, that was a Checkers. Oh, that makes sense. You need to flip that mirror. Am I a mirror image? I don't know how to flip that now. They don't seem, they offer a flip for this to go to the front counter, but they don't really offer me a way to flip the orientation as far as I know. No, retouch, I'll turn that off. Oops, I don't know what that meant. Obi-Wan Kenobi's with us. Good to see you, man. I live in rural Midwest. Nearest coffee shop is a large container of pre-ground coffee sitting on the counter open to the air. The coffee is awful there. I get tea. That's what I do a lot of times too. When I'm going to coffee shops and I just want to hang out, I'll get tea. Like I would go to Starbucks and just get tea. Power Plant says, based on Google Maps, you are near two nicest coffee shops, White Rhino and Sater Brothers. White Rhino, scratch that. Google Maps. Oh, sorry. I never heard of those places. I thought I would have seen those on my searches. Obi-Wan Kenobi says it's funny to watch them make espresso using that coffee in the very nice two-group machine. It's so... Anton says, reminds me of these videos where they shove the coffee in the basket with their hands and don't tap. That was what I was doing the other day, actually. And the whole counter's dirty. That does bother me. Nobody's with us. Got to see the tail end. Sucky iced coffee. That's not good. Yeah, it was not good. Sorry. Booster says they don't know what they're tasting. As long as it's sugar and flavor, they're okay. I guess that's true. Brian says, I ain't drinking that coffee with a crazy amount of sugar. No, it's not a good thing. It's bad. It's bad thing. So we've got the Shipley's. The Shipley's is a little bit defecty. I don't know if I'm maybe I'm just getting used to it now, the defecty coffees. And then we've got the ones from Cinco de Mayo with un poquito leche. Actually, that tastes a little more defecty. I don't know. Anta says, Erquiado, nice. Booster says, ain't. And I say that this place is open. And I say that since that place has been open a good 10 years or close to it. Wow, really? Oh, Anta's going to get his package. Go, good. Booster, thank you. That's very kind, man. Thank you very much. You didn't have to do that. I'm very thankful. Very, 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 very thank you. Naomi, I went to a place. We went to a few places today. We went to Arundel Donuts, where we started this morning, which is actually across the street from where we are now. They were sold out. They opened at 5:30. We got there at 10. Sold out. Go there earlier. I'll have to do this again earlier. Then I thought, okay, let's get some panaderia. So we went to this Mexican bakery over in Glen Burnie. Headed over there. And then Booster was talking about like bikini coffee. So I was like, okay, let's go check out bikini coffee. So I went down Pasadena, got lost, found it. Then the bikini girl, she was like, I said, where? She's like, what are you doing there? I said, we're looking for donuts. She's like, oh, go to Arundel. I said, Arundel's already sold out. She's like, oh, go to Shipley's. All right, Shipley's. So we went to Shipley's, and now we're here. Peter says, I meant 50s American, like roller skates, maids and soda bars, drive-in theater, classic cars. And that is nice. Those were nice times. I don't know if it's a cynical in me, though. Maybe because I'm older now. But as much as I thought those were cool times, like maybe just stylistically cool, in modern America, I find it very difficult to separate the idea of like the cool factor of the 50s from the fact that I would be separated from that. Even though Pat Morita's character was cooking and I think he owned the drive-in in Happy Days. I don't know if it was necessarily like that. Whatever. Can't talk about those kind of things. Yes, we've traveled quite a bit. Peter says, like Back to the Future movie. Yeah, but there's no Asian people in Back to the Future. There's nobody that looks like us. It's like, what? But I do get what you're saying. Booster says, I feel you on that. Yeah, man, that's. And I know, Peter, for you it's probably different because you're. It's different for us because we live in America and the issues of the United States, the social issues that we face here are very acute in many ways, and so it's something that if you don't live here, it's very difficult to. It's something that you just wouldn't get because it's a different issue, right? So I totally understand what you're saying. I totally hear you. I really do. Like those times seem like fun times, and I do think that for certain people in the United States it was. For another group of people it wasn't. for people like us, I don't know where we really fit in back then. I mean, we're talking about the Japanese were interned into concentration camps during World War II. So, and I was just reading history in Hawaii where they had English proficiency schools. So they segregated people in Hawaii during that era by having English proficiency schools, which was, from my experience living there, was definitely meant to segregate out a lot of the local population that spoke the pidgin English, right? So yeah, I'm really kind of like torn on that. Like I grew up in a world in the '80s, we like look, everybody, all the movie makers back then, Steven Spielberg and all them, looked to their youth, the '50s, as like the golden era. And I kind of went along with it because I didn't know any better. I was only like, in my teens. So I just went, okay, whatever. I didn't understand. I didn't really care. I was like, okay. But now that I'm older, and it's I don't look at it with such... I have a hard time looking with the same nostalgia that other people do. That's probably the best way to say that. Anyway, but we're doing coffee. We did a lot of pastries, and I'm going to be ill soon. And I should go back to work now because I've been driving around, drinking coffee and eating pastries. So back again tomorrow with another coffee Q&A. Thank you very much for hanging out as always. Good to see all of you. And come join us for another round of the coffee Q&A, 10 a.m. Monday through Fridays. Oh, one of the things I was saying yesterday that I didn't remember to say today, or in the final stream from yesterday, is that since Monday is going to be a holiday, I probably will not be doing a live stream on Monday. So we will start again Tuesday. And also, if you're interested in cigars, I do a live stream with cigars and coffee every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time on the Ono Live channel. So if you're free tonight, we'll be doing that again. And we're actually having a Ono Live, or coffee and cigars meetup this weekend at Capital Cigars and Tobacco in Bethesda, Maryland, starting at 2 p.m. is the official time. So if you are in the area and are interested in cigars, like there'll be some coffee probably, but there will be mostly cigars. Like it won't be very coffee oriented, it'll be mostly cigar oriented, and you'll be at a cigar shop, so it'll be super cigar smoky. So if you don't like any of that, keep that in mind. But if you're interested in cigars, you're welcome to come and join us. We're just gonna be hanging out starting at 2 p.m. until whenever. We got some of our friends and other viewers that are from New Jersey coming down, and who knows where else they're coming down. So all right, so until next time, until tomorrow, or whenever you have the chance, great to see you, and thank you very much. So, and then Naomi says, if you come across a great natural cigar, remember there's always, all cigars are natural, all 100% natural, no chemical additives. So if you're interested, let me know. All right, have a great one. See you next time.